Hello there, everybody. My name is AB, and this is the very first episode of my Dirty Laundry Diary. You may be wondering what this is, and that's fair. I find myself wondering too. About a year ago now, I went and visited some friends in New York City. And while there, I discussed with them my idea for a audiovisual diary / podcast. And I had a name for it called my Dirty Laundry Diary, because every time I go to the laundromat, I write in my journal or my diary and reflect on the week. I wanted to use it as an outlet not only for myself, but hopefully for a way to reach other people that feel similar to the way I do. And then I did absolutely nothing. I made an email and a Spotify account and a YouTube account. I kept sitting with the idea, but I never actually recorded or uploaded anything. And then this week we got our first snowfall. And I remembered that a year ago, I was on a dream trip, visiting people that I love dearly, who were giving me unwavering support in something I have not taken the leap in uploading or doing, even recording. And that led me to reflect on a quote that I have written down on a piece of paper taped to my front door, so I look at it every morning when I leave for work. It says, "The time is going to pass anyways, so you might as well do it scared." Pretty much I found a couple different quotes and I just combined them on that piece of paper. So this is the episode, because I'm not going to let another year go by where I don't at least try. With that being said, let's give a little bit of background information. Again, my name is AB. I am a 20-something that lives in rural United States. I was born and raised roughly in the area where I live, so I will not disclose where that is. I live alone, am single, and work full-time for an institution that I will not elaborate further on. I will say, though, that working where I do does make me feel like Mr. Incredible when he sells insurance. And hopefully that explains enough. How I got to this point, you may ask? I will regale you with the details. At the ripe age of 17, I graduated high school and went off to college. And my first year, second semester of college, COVID hit. So everything was shut down. And what was supposed to be my big formative years, I went out of state and moved to a city fairly close to the one that I semi-grew up in, because I am a child of divorce. And the world is my oyster. No, the world is locked down, and you are going back home to the middle of nowhere in the toxic household with an abusive man in it. And you are going to have to suck it up. Then that led to my second year, first semester. We were allowed back on campus with very strict supervision and constant testing. And that went great until one of my scholarships fell through and I could not get a loan in time to secure me staying in the on-campus housing. So I went back home and did fully remote classes again for my second year, second semester. My mental health crumbled, plummeted, so far down at such an astronomically quick speed it should be studied. So then I dropped out of college. To be fair, The major I was in is not one I felt passionate about or should have been studying, and that didn't help. And really, at that point, the only reason I was enrolled in school was so I could be a part of the dance crew I was a member of. So the signs were there, but it all bubbled over due to the global pandemic, my crippling depression, being poor, really all of those things. So then I just worked a part-time job at a fast food restaurant, and my living situation became more volatile, worse and worse and worse. And so my brother invited me out to visit him on the other side of the country. It was my first time on that coast. It was my first time being that far away from home. It was not my first time solo traveling because, again, I am a child of divorce. But it was exciting. It was liberating. It felt great, especially because my childhood cat died just before I went on this trip. So it was very healing. And then I got back home and I felt even harder than before into a depression. And that led to a point where, trigger warning, I made the decision to do something that had me hospitalized and put in a mental health unit for a little bit. And then I was placed in an outpatient service. And I am still with that therapist that I met through the outpatient service to this day. So that's very cool. With that being said, I lasted about 2 weeks out of the hospital before my living situation got so bad that I left in the middle of the night with my 2 cats and a bag of clothes. Thankfully, I had coworkers and that then became very, very good friends who were willing to house me. And if I didn't have a place to stay for the night, I would have a place for my cats to stay, usually with one of those friends, and find somewhere to sleep. In a car, at the places I worked. I was then able to be in a program that helped mentally ill people find housing and get them back on their feet once they are out of programs. So I was then put in the apartment I live in now. And it'll be 4 years in February that I have lived in this apartment. I, instead of 2 cats, have 4. And including my childhood cat that passed away, I've had 4 cats pass in that time. I have learned what medicine works best for me and what medicine does not. I've learned the importance of a good, consistent sleep schedule and taking digestion walks, or any walk, especially if it's raining and it's really foggy and you have the right playlist on. That really does help my mental health, I can't lie. All of this is to say that this week I really struggled with feeling like I'm worth anything, that I've amounted to anything, that I've done anything. And when I sit down to record this episode, I very quickly realize I have made huge movements, huge strides for myself, for my mental health, for my stability, for my animals. Although I never went back to my childhood home, my relationship with my mother has improved greatly. And I can even go back to that house and I help do yard work. And I visit the grave of my childhood cat. And I have many regrets. Like, I regret leaving school. But now I find that I've gotten so comfortable in working a job that I hate and feeling so unfulfilled that I've taken huge, terrifying leaps. And yet I feel like I haven't. And on top of that, I'm too scared now to disrupt the comfort that I have. Similar to ignorance is bliss. And there's probably another one about misery somewhere in the world. sometimes it's just more comfortable to take the easy route and to stay miserable than it is to take a risk and see where it might lead you. This week, I kind of hit the breaking point of, well, I can't keep living this way. It's been another year, and I don't feel any different. I don't feel any better, and I actually feel pretty bad, especially recently. So we need to take the leap. We need to do it scared. So I sat down to record this episode. I applied for some programs, part-time, night, because I just don't have the ability to not work. But I took leaps. They might be frog leaps, but I took leaps. I have no idea where the program applications will lead me. I have no idea where this will lead me. And that's terrifying, but also really exciting. How cool is that? That I have something to do that could either take me on a great adventure or lead me down a different path that takes me on a different great adventure. Or it leads to nothing, and I've learned the lesson, and I try something else, or I try again. I think sometimes, especially when it's a long period of time that flies by, like a year, I get very anxious about, oh, it's been another year, and I'm another year older, and I'm wasting away, and I have no time left, and I'm going to wake up one day and be 40 and so miserable that I do something dangerous again. Or I get a midlife crisis haircut, or one of those really fast cars. I say as someone without a license. And I always chuckle after I have, the clarity of there's no right or wrong way to do life. There's no ticking time bomb. You do not have to have it all figured out. And if we're going to be very real, I don't think anyone has it all figured out. I think a lot of people are doing everything terrified, and they don't say it. Being vulnerable with other people is really scary. Putting yourself out there is really scary, but it's also really beautiful and can help a lot of people, including yourself. So I'm going to take a risk. I'm taking a leap. We're going to see where it goes. Hopefully you are able to find comfort, maybe even enjoy an episode or two, or you listen to this and realize, oh, no thank you, and you never listen to me again. And although that hurts, I do understand. The biggest thing that I felt this week was two very different ends of the spectrum of, what does it mean? I'm withering away. And I've made so much progress. I made major life decisions and hit, the lowest point in my life, and I'm scared to record myself and edit it and upload it to the internet. Come on. Overall, it was a very good week. It was a very hectic week, and I was very sick earlier this week with an ear infection that is thankfully slowly going away. But I also did big things. I put together applications and I applied to programs, and I put together a script for this episode, if you can believe I'm following one. And I'm recording it, and I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to put a little video together for it, and I'm going to put it online, and I've put together a playlist of sick songs that I think fit the vibes of this podcast, or fit my vibes as a human being, to hopefully let you guys get to know me a little better, because I am a firm believer that music connects us all, and there's a song for every vibe, and the type of music someone listens to really tells you who they are as a person and how they emote and express themselves. But what do I know? I'm just a college dropout. ultimately, I hope you listen to this episode and think about how much progress you've made and how there are so many moments in your life where you did something absolutely terrified without even realizing how scared you were. Whether that was graduating high school, getting your GED, doing the first day of school, dyeing your hair, painting your nails for the first time, doing winged eyeliner for the first time. Oh my goodness. I'm still not able to do it well at all. Adopting an animal, rescuing an animal, applying for a new job. These are all huge things that we do that we don't even really think about as being major sometimes. There are pivotal life events. Here in the United States, turning 21 is a very big one. Turning 18 is a big one for lots of people. Getting your first car, moving out, buying your first home, getting married, having a child. I think we focus so much on the big moments. We don't focus on the little ones that are just as monumental into shaping who we are and giving us the life we want. So I hope you listen to this episode, reflect on little moves that ended up being major, or major moves that maybe had little impact. Anything you did where you were terrified and you made it out on the other side. Think about another big move you'd like to make that you're terrified to do and ask, why are you so scared? You will either be super successful and learn something. We're going to say that. You will either be super successful and learn something, or you won't be as successful, but you will still learn something. So do the thing. Whether it's buy a new lipstick, or get a haircut, or apply for a new job. Do the big thing that's scary. Because you did not make it this far to just make it this far. And the time is going to pass anyways. So if you want to try a bob, get a bob. You want to get bangs? Well, as someone that had bangs that hated them, I cannot recommend bangs. You want to apply for a new job? Do it. You want to go to college? Back to school? Get your GED? Do it. Apply. That's the first step. Figure it out. Take the leap. Or take maybe a baby leap. If you're not quite ready yet to apply to programs, look up some. Maybe take a test. See what kind of area you would be successful in. Go to a seminar. Listen to a podcast about the topic. You are too incredible of a human being to not do something like that for yourself. And I hope you always remember that. With that being said, this has been the very first episode of my Dirty Laundry Diary. My name is AB. I plan to upload every Sunday where I will discuss my thoughts of the week and what happened. And hopefully we can take these thoughts that I'm having and the thoughts you're having, break them down, think about them, accept them, work on them, and get ready for the next week. The AB that was 17, fresh at college, had no idea where she was going. No idea who she would be in the year of 2025. In the AB of 2025, doesn't even know who that 17-year-old was. And has no idea who she's going to be in 2026. No idea who she's going to be in 2030. But I can't lie, I'm pretty excited to see where it goes. I'm pretty excited. I hope you are excited too. Talk to you next week.